Nobody satisfies you with the answer because both paths quietly kill something you love. There is a third option. Priya had been the strongest engineer on her team for 3 years straight. So when her director offered her a management role, she said yes without thinking twice. 6 months later, she was miserable. Not because she failed, her team actually liked her. But every morning she woke up missing the work that made her fall in love with tech in the first place. She had climbed the wrong ladder. This is one of the most personal career decisions you will ever face. And the reason it feels paralyzing is because nobody frames it honestly. Most advice sounds like pick what pays more, or follow your passion, or just try management and see. That is terrible guidance for a decision that reshapes your entire professional identity. What you actually need is a clear-eyed look at what each path demands from you daily, not annually, not on paper, but Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. That is exactly what we are going to break down together. Let us start with what actually changes when you switch from technical work to management. As an individual contributor, your output is tangible. You write code, design systems, solve problems, and ship things you can point to. Your feedback loop is tight, something works or it does not. Management replaces that with something far more ambiguous. Your job becomes removing obstacles for other people so they can do their best work. You spend your days in one-on-ones, aligning priorities across teams, and translating between executives and engineers. A good week in management often means nothing visibly broke. That can feel deeply unsatisfying if you are someone who needs to build things with your own hands. According to a study published by Harvard Business Review, nearly 60% of new managers describe their first year as the most stressful transition of their career. The work is not harder in a technical sense. It is harder emotionally because success becomes invisible and indirect. Now here is the part most career advice skips entirely: the identity question. When someone asks what do you do, what answer makes you feel proud? If you light up saying I built the recommendation engine that serves 40 million users, you are drawing identity from craft. If you light up saying I grew my team from 4 to 12 and 2 of them just got promoted, you draw identity from people. Neither answer is better. But if you pick the path that contradicts your source of pride, you will feel hollow even when you are succeeding. A friend of mine at Microsoft spent 2 years as an engineering manager before going back to principal engineer. He told me management felt like watching someone else play a video game. He could coach, he could guide, but he could never pick up the controller. That metaphor stuck with me because it captures the real loss some people feel. Let us talk about the practical trade-offs: money, ceiling, and optionality. In most companies, management does pay more at senior levels. But the gap is shrinking fast, especially at places like Google, Meta, and Netflix, where staff and principal engineer tracks now reach compensation parity with director-level roles. So if money is your main motivator, check the actual numbers at your specific company before assuming management is the richer path. Growth trajectory matters too. Management roles have fewer seats the higher you go: 1 VP, maybe 2 directors, a handful of senior managers. Technical tracks are wider at the top because companies always need deep expertise. But here is the flip side. Managers build cross-functional networks that open doors to entirely different careers later. Product leadership, general management, even startup CEO roles become realistic options if you have managed teams and budgets. The individual contributor path keeps you deep but can keep you narrow if you are not intentional about branching out. Before you commit to either direction, consider something most people overlook. There is a third path that blends both worlds. Technical lead, staff engineer, or architect roles let you stay close to the code while influencing strategy and mentoring others. Some companies call this the technical leadership track. You still design systems and make architectural decisions, but you also shape how the team thinks and works. It is not management and it is not pure heads-down engineering. For many people, especially those who love building but also care about team culture, this middle ground is the most fulfilling option. Companies like Spotify and Stripe have invested heavily in making this path legitimate and well compensated. Do not assume your only 2 choices are coder or boss. So how do you actually test which path fits before making a permanent move? Start small and observe your own energy. Volunteer to lead a project for 1 quarter. Run the sprint planning meetings, handle the stakeholder updates, and mentor the junior developers. Pay attention to how you feel on Friday afternoon. Are you energized or drained? Do you miss the deep focus work, or do you find the people side genuinely interesting? Another powerful test is to shadow a manager you respect for a full week. Sit in on their one-on-ones, watch how they handle conflict, see what their calendar actually looks like. Most people romanticize management until they see the reality up close. Equally, if you are a manager curious about going back to technical work, pick up a side project or contribute to an open source repo for a month. Reconnect with the craft and see if it still excites you. Here is what I want you to do right now, before you close this video. Open a blank document and write 2 columns. Label one column energizers and the other drainers. Think about the last 3 months of your work and list every task or interaction that either gave you energy or took it away. Do not think about titles or salaries, just energy. When you are done, look at the pattern. If your energizers are mostly building, debugging, designing, and solving technical puzzles, honor that. If they are coaching, aligning, negotiating, and growing people, honor that instead. Your career is too long to spend it performing someone else's definition of success. Trust what your own energy is telling you. That's a wrap, thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.